And I think one of the key things that you said, Julian, as well, is that communication, being able to communicate, being able to make their pitch, literally done wonders for Kaya, done wonders for Ezekiel, just having that opportunity, which was amazing.
So a lot of the obstacles were really just my lack of knowledge around space. I didn't even know I was creating social impact. A colleague had to tell me, do you realize you're creating a social impact? I'm like, what is that? I had no idea.
If you wanted to do digital marketing, there's courses out there that are for free and to learn just like how to use them, or for example, project management tools, so Asana, those type of things.
Friends, parents, they actually are familiar with you as well, because what you've been doing has been reaching so many people. How we doing, Robust family? And look, welcome. I know you're going to enjoy the episode coming up, and we have a lot more stuff on this channel. But before we engage on the new show, can I ask you to do me a small favor? Just robustly smash that subscribe and like button. It helps us a lot, and it makes sure that you do not miss a robust breakfast show beat. All right, enjoy. That's right, guys, it is that time. It's time to shine. It's time to rise. This is your breakfast show. I'm your host, Robert Ashitey, your robust presenter, with you for the next 2 hours of power as you've just enjoyed Be Inspired. Just a moment ago, we're taking over from here, and you're going to be in some good hands with that vim, gusto, and determination. Now, speaking about vim and gusto, we have our sound crew over there in the cat cam this morning. We have the one and only Kathleen, the lady of sound herself. Look at, she's looking really cheery and chirpy today. I don't know what it is. I don't know. It just seems like you had good night's sleep, like good sleep, or am I just like, you just, it's like a one off, like you just
like a rock.
You sleep. Yeah, but did you get enough sleep? Like,
I woke up tired.
Okay. Well, you know what? You pulled it off. Like, you know, I think, in this gig for a while, you know what time it is, you know what I'm saying? Your body's like, yep, let's go. That's how we roll, Kat. You're awesome. And as you can see there, we also have the man himself, the 7-foot giant. It's the one and only. We call him Brian. But we know him as...
Where's the mouse?
Colossus.
Yeah.
What?
Good morning.
The mouse chosen out.
Is it? How we doing, Colossus?
I'm good.
Yeah, you hold it down today? This is it. Everyone's excited, but also guess who else is there?
That's it.
He thought he could escape.
He thought he could escape. All right. Okay, because there's a bit of a dragon joining us this morning in the sound. It's the 7-foot giant himself. It is Colossus. There he is. Come on, you have to flex. That is it. There it is. Go flex. Flex, yes. Look at that powerful man. So powerful. He never lets up on the protein. Multiforge. All right. That's how we roll. Full of power. I'm telling you, get down. Colossus. You know who I am. Okay, guys. So... great to have the sound team, but also guess who's joining us this morning as well. It's my niece, the lady with the brain who takes you through the course and marketing tricks and tips of the 101 stages of all that is good and all that is right and virtuous. It's the one and only Jovina Chanapel. Good morning to Jo.
Hello.
Good morning to Jo.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
You know, you always have this sparkle in your eyes, you know.
Yeah.
Since you're a baby, you always have this sparkle in your eyes.
Oh, okay.
Oh gosh, I brought the baby stuff in there. How you doing, girl?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I just can't pin if you're a morning person.
I am.
You are a morning person. Oh, so you function or high energy?
I can be a morning person.
Okay. Yeah, we have to assess that one, isn't it? Yeah. What's your morning routine? Do you have like toast or something in the morning? Like,
I've been getting into porridge.
Okay.
Recently.
Okay. Was that from your dad?
No, because one day Pastor called me out, and I was like, he was asking, so do you eat porridge? And I said, I haven't eaten it since Breakfast Club in year 2.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, I was like, let me jump on the wave, and it's actually good.
Yeah, it's actually good, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what, do you sprinkle some cinnamon in there? 'Cause I know you got the whole Mauritian thing going on. You know, go have some spice up in there.
I put a bit of honey, and I think the 2 on its own is fine.
Okay,
for me.
keep it simple. Okay, but you know, try a little bit of cinnamon in there. Go change your life. It's gonna be good.
All right.
Yeah, sprinkle some raisins. You like raisins?
Not for breakfast. No.
Just try. You'll see.
Oh, okay.
All right, but you all set for today?
Yeah.
Guys, today is Tuesday, Pursuit of Success Day here on The Breakfast Show. And literally it's going to be going down today. As you know, we have guests that come in and we share tools, tips, and ideas to help you to take that next step to achieve your definition of success. And today we're going to be having Julian Hall joining us today, who's the CEO of Ultra Education. Even I have some video footage of some events that we went to that he hosted, that he organized.
Nice.
And in the video, guess what I did? What is it again? Every time I keep lying. So Ultra Education. This organization is amazing. You know, I don't know if you ever came with Kaya to one of the things when she's selling
I
stuff.
haven't yet.
Literally, like his organization is part responsible for that, you know?
Okay.
So we're going to be hearing his story today. We're going to be hearing about a new event that they got coming up in April as well.
Nice.
Which is great for all the young entrepreneurs to get involved in. It's going to be amazing. And we're going to see how he got this far. You know, he's an entrepreneur, you know, as is. And I believe his more recent venture, is Ultra Education. So you have to do this, Ultra Education. That's it, Ultra Education. All right, so we're going to hear more about that today. So we're going to go straight into the next part of our show, with a new segment, which is 50 tips to shield your faith. Let's go. All right, Kat.
Yes.
So what tip are we looking at today?
We're looking at tip number 19, which says, take possession of God's promise.
All right, tip number 19 sounds good. Take possession of God's promise, and we can literally just hear that and be like, yeah, take possession of God's promise. But let's see what Bishop has to say. He says, I have come that they may have life and that they may have it more abundantly. John 10:10. This is the prophecy of the Lord Jesus for all of us. But to take possession of it, you need strength and courage. God didn't hand the promised land over to the Israelites on a silver platter. They had to take it from their enemies by force. Yet they had God on their side, and no matter how strong their opponents were, the Lord would deliver them into their hands because they believed in the promise. They became strong, and because they had courage to go to battle, they overcame. You know, the amazing thing about the Bible is that it has 8,000 promises. 8,000 promises from God. And guess what we need to just do? Choose at least one, right? Because obviously while we're living on this earth, we're going to go through different problems, different situations, whether it's in our health, in our family. We're going to go through trials, hardships, right? We're going to want to do a project. We're going to face disappointment. But for every aspect of our life, guess what the Bible has? A promise. And what we're hearing today is this is a tool. This is a source of strength, a source of energy, no matter what you could be going through right now. Hey, Joe.
Yes. Even just thinking about it, we've been like really doing the fast of Zacharias. And okay, there's the aspect of not complaining, but there's also the aspect of basing what we are doing on the word of God instead of other words.
Yeah.
So it's definitely an eye-opener that the promise is there.
Yeah.
And how many times God says, just take it.
Yeah.
Just take it.
Just take it. And the thing, but there's other factors as well, right? We could be
Yes, of
afraid.
course. Yeah.
We could be scared. We could be coming out of our comfort zone. But guess what? The promise is there. Like Bishop said, Israel had to go up against a big army in the past. And like, I remember the king, I think it's Jehoshaphat, he says, look, I don't know what to do, but my eyes are on you. You know, and the promise he had is that God has given them into his hands. And on that, even afraid, he went. He took courage and he went. So today, guess what? Pick a promise and go. Pick a promise, whether it's for your health, for your family, and go. Hold on to it. God is going to honor your faith. All right, guys? So that was our tip for today. Take possession of God's promises. And for that, you're going to have to pick up a Bible. If you haven't been good with reading the Bible, pick one up. There's 8,000 in there. and for sure it's gonna add to you. All right, guys, that was our tip for today. Let's keep it moving. Jojo, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, you're all fired, ready?
Yeah.
I know your brain's always like, just active and all that kind of stuff. So if we could just welcome our guest right now, we have the one and only Julian Hall from Ultra Education. Good morning to you, Julian.
Good morning, Robert. How you doing?
Hey, my man. How we doing, warrior?
Hey, I'm all the better for being called warrior this morning.
That's how we roll. That's how we roll, brother. It's so great to have you on the show. It's been a while. We've been, we've had like passing conversations about getting you on the breakfast show to share your journey. So it's such a blessing to have you here this morning. How's been your morning so far?
Yeah, pretty good. I made it to the gym, so good start to the day.
You made it to the gym. What?
Yep.
What time you had to fit that in the gym? What?
Early, 6 a.m. start. 6 a.m. start.
Fad off, like, how long have you been doing that for, bro?
Probably my whole life.
See?
My whole adult life.
See, I think we need to hang around this guy. I'll get some new good habits. All right. So, Julian, it's great to have you on the show, as I said. Some of our listeners may not be familiar with you. Some of our listeners may be because of the work you've done with Ultra Education. Some of my children's friends, parents, they actually are familiar with you as well because what you've been doing has been reaching so many people. So if you could just give our listeners a bit of a background about who you are and what you do.
Sure. So I'm the founder and CEO of a now 10-year-old social enterprise called Ultra Education. And for the last 10 years, we've been teaching entrepreneurship to kids from 7 to 18 years old. And we do that because we think that entrepreneurship is probably the greatest opportunity for young people today. It helps them to build soft skills, employability skills. It helps them to develop a growth mindset, allows them to build their resilience, think critically. And we think that now entrepreneurial education is something which every young person should have access to. And so we're here to fill that gap.
Beautiful. Absolutely fantastic. And here's the interesting thing, right? That even though you're doing Ultra Education right now, you've always been an entrepreneur, right? You've always been in the entrepreneur space. If someone goes onto YouTube now, they'll see you, dropping some powerful lessons. And as well as the Ultra Education bit, which we're going to come to, I would like everyone to kind of have a bit more of an idea of where you've come from. I know that I had a nice video of you chilling out with Richard Branson, and I'm like, why is like 1 minute you're hanging over with Richard Branson, next thing you're doing an event for the teens, for the children in Tesla, right? I've actually got a video of that actually just to show them. So the Ultra Education event, my daughter was part of it at that time, and they were in the Tesla showroom showcasing their businesses, and it was an absolutely wonderful event. I think that time it was 2018, right, Julian?
Yeah, about that.
I think I've got some images here. Sorry? Pictures. Let's show some pictures. All right. So this is a Tesla. So this is a Tesla showroom. So the kids were there. Obviously, I was like quite excited because Tesla showroom. So we had that in front. My daughter was there with her friend, and like what Julian was saying, they have a chance to showcase their talent. They're in this wonderful environment. Everything you seem to do has been always upper class. You've always created these amazing platforms for these kids. It's amazing, Julian. Absolutely amazing. Look at that, and the kids are just so happy. My goodness, how many children have you impacted through Ultra Education?
Since we started, over 50,000.
50,000. Wow, this is amazing. And this is important because they say that in school they teach us how to be workers, right? But they don't teach us how to think critically and to be business people, right?
This is right. And I think now parents, even educators and professionals, particularly those who are hiring young people, can see the gap that education leaves. So when young people are going out into the world of work, employers are really struggling with, okay, what you've learned in school does not transfer into the workplace, whether it's being able to problem solve, whether it's working as a team, whether it's communication skills, just the very basic work-ready skills aren't taught in school. And we know that careers education varies. Some places it's done really well, some places it isn't. And it just feels like school is super academic, which if you're going into academia, that's great. But if you're going into enterprise, which most young people will be, it just doesn't transfer. And so that gap that exists, Ultra Education and lots of other organizations across the country are saying, look, we need to be better for young people. We need to be able to give them the skills that they can take into the workplace, but also we need to give them the skills for the future of work, because we now know that a child in a primary school, by the time they get to working age, a large chunk of jobs will no longer exist. And this has now been accelerated by AI and automation. And so in the same way, 10 years ago, if you saw a job description for a social media manager, you'd be thinking, what the hell is that? Now, that's very common. But it's not going to take 10 years. It's going to transform in weeks and months. And so education has been struggling to keep up with the fourth industrial revolution, which is part of what the World Economic Forum has been talking about when it comes to the future of work. That actually we are in a revolution. Things are going to change. Jobs are going to be displaced. New jobs are going to be created. And actually, it's our responsibility as parents, teachers, educators, professionals to better prepare young people for that future of work. And part of that future of work, a critical part, is going to be self-employability, is going to be that side hustle, is going to be entrepreneurship, is going to be starting your own business. And we are really passionate about filling that gap, because ultimately we want young people to do what they love and make money from it, not do what they hate and make money from it.
Love that. We've got Jovina here. She's a young lady. She's recently done her degree, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, hearing what Julian's saying now, what are your thoughts on that?
I agree, because, for example, my university, okay, they had a module on like professional strategies, which was supposed to be like how you a module on the actual, working world. However, I don't think it's enough, and I don't know if every other institution does that. But sometimes, like, when you're finally like having to apply for jobs, and they're just like, oh, but we kind of prefer the experience to the degree, or we kind of, it would be nice if you had both. And I think even looking at many young people who, like, maybe they finished their A-levels or they finished whatever they finished, they find it hard to communicate, especially. Like, we're such a digital, generation. So sometimes having to speak to a team or speak to people that you don't know can be very intimidating. And like many years ago, that wouldn't be the case. But it's just that now things are different, and a lot of young people have become literally socially anxious.
Wow.
So having those, like, the experience or like the skills that you need to go into work and like be confident to do it, some people just don't have that.
Yeah.
And it's like schools are not teaching how, like, they're just not teaching those skills anyway. So things like Ultra Education, it helps the young person to be in that mindset of, I can have my own business and I can do something that I actually really enjoy, instead of fitting themselves into that box of, like, the 9 to 5 or whatever it may be. Yeah. Beautiful.
Right. And I think one of the key things that you said, Julian, as well, is that communication, being able to communicate, being able to make their pitch, literally done wonders for Kaya, done wonders for Ezekiel, just having that opportunity, which was amazing, and with Ultra Education, as big as it's got and amazing as it is, you're here now, you've had lots of different experiences in life, and you've built some really wonderful things, but for the person listening now, they're seeing you, they're probably thinking, okay, yeah, he's a guy, he had a lot of maybe different types of support, or he had a silver spoon, to create this amazing structure, this amazing organization. But tell us a bit about your upbringing. What was it like in the early life for you?
Well, it definitely wasn't silver spoon, I can tell you that. So I guess, and many people can relate to this, I grew up with all types of disadvantage, just like many people in this country. So I grew up in an area of Northwest London called Harlesden, which I love dearly, but statistically, it is one of the areas of highest deprivation in London and across the country, certain pockets of Harlesden. And, I grew up in a, kind of one-parent family. There were challenges at home, challenges at school. I was bullied, I had dysmorphia, low confidence. And essentially, I was pretty much an introvert.
Really?
And the thing which turned my view of life around was when I set up my business with a bunch of friends of mine at the age of about 17 or 18 years old. And that experience, it was a fashion company. We couldn't really afford to wear the cool clothes we saw on TV. My girlfriend at the time had just qualified from the London College of Fashion, and so she taught us how to make the clothes. She would design them, we would make them. Now we look cool, right?
Wow.
And that solved the problem for us. We could solve a problem for other young people. They would buy the clothes, we would supply a whole bunch of clothes to shops in West London. And what that made me realize is that I could see a problem, I could come up with a solution, and I could repeat that. And that is essentially the cycle of entrepreneurship. You identify something that could add value to a group of people, a problem that you can solve. You create a product or a solution that solves that problem, and then you're able to repeat that. You're able to come up with some kind of system and process which repeats that, scales that, makes it profitable.
Beautiful.
And so that experience always stayed with me. It didn't matter what my background, what my statistic told me. That experience said to me, you can create value for other people, enough value that they will pay for it. And so the fairs that your Kyra and Ezekiel went to, the reason we did those is because I wanted to create experiences for children that could never be taken away from them. I know that there is a problem with big shiny building syndrome, right? So young people who grow up in low socioeconomic areas, if they then go into a big corporate, they go into the city, they go into the wharf, it's overwhelming seeing these buildings, right? Whereas if they have showcased their business at Tesla, at Microsoft, if they've gone to
Microsoft, that was a good one. That was a good one. I love that one. That was awesome.
Right. So if they are in these high profile spaces, then immediately they believe that they belong there. And that experience is something, even if they've just had it once, can be transformative for them, because when they get into an opportunity in a working environment and they go into a building similar, they can feel like, I've been here before, I can own this. And without confidence, they're not able to communicate.
Absolutely.
So what we're hoping is that two things happen. The experience that, was it Javina mentioned, that is often lacking. They can have that experience by creating their own, because they're going to be too young to go and get a job. And even if they want to get a job, to get some experience, volunteering, that's also very difficult. The thing that you can do without any barriers in place is to set up your own business. And nothing is stopping anyone from setting up their own business, whether it's a project, an experiment, an idea. You can do that right now.
Okay.
And that gives you the same skill set, the same experience that you can transfer directly into the workplace. So you can now go into a job interview saying, when I was 7 or 17, I set up a business and I exhibited at NatWest, I exhibited at Wembley Stadium, I exhibited in Piccadilly, and this is what I learned. And an employer will listen to that and think, so you know how to communicate, you know how to sell, you know how to create a product, you know how to market it, how to price it, how to deal with objections, how to build a team put a team together, even if it's your parents and your little sister, right? All of those skills are directly transferable into the workplace. They have a huge value to any employer. And so we are now having to engineer. That's what essentially Ultra Education is doing. We are engineering experiences for young people that they can use to either take into the workplace, or if they so choose, create their own business.
Beautiful. Hey, just a quick interruption. I know you're enjoying the show, but don't forget, if you haven't already, robustly smash the like and subscribe button. Do it now. Do it now. Powerful. So it seems like you've become like this amazing mentor, right? And creating a mentorship environment for all these young people, right? Practical things that they can just get their hands stuck into, you know, to exercise these extra skills. A question for you. I mean, because just going back to when you was 18, right? What did you have any mentors as well helping to guide you? Because it sounds like you stumbled on opportunity and then that kind of opened your eyes, right? Did you have any mentors to help to carry you forward?
Unfortunately, no, I didn't. So on the business side, no. I mean, I had mentors, one or two mentors who would kind of take me under their wing in different aspects of life, which did help. So reflecting on it, yes, those mentors did help me to kind of support my confidence. But on the business side, I had to figure it out all on my own.
Wow.
But that said, one of the things which I do look back and reflect on is even the mentorship I had in different areas of my life impacted my ability to develop my confidence to then take a risk, to start a business and to think about, actually, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll figure it out. And so one of the messages that I, send to everybody wherever I can is, if you take some time, it could be an hour a month, it could be, half an hour a week on a call or a meeting, is to mentor a young person. And when we say that mentorship could be very light touch. It could be a kind word. It could be some encouragement. It could be that you open a door for them. It could be that you provide them with an opportunity. It could be that you give them some kind of access that maybe you didn't have, or maybe you did have and you recognize that it really helped. But look, I know we're all busy. Everyone's super busy. We've got loads on. But really, that opportunity that you can give to a young person, even if it's just 1 hour a month, we have that, right? That can mean all the difference to a young person.
Yeah.
And as much as I've done, what we're trying to do is to create this at scale. So we've got adult education, so many, we've got an amazing team, we've got some amazing mentors and facilitators who deliver our programs, but it's not enough. We are just trying to create a model that other people can replicate in their own way. And
Beautiful.
Mentorship is so important. It's spoken about, a lot. If you were to ask the average young person on the street, I would suspect a lot of them will say they don't have access to a mentor.
Yeah.
And if they do, it may not be a mentor that can help them in the world of work or enterprise or thinking about the future of work. So they can have more than one mentor, right? It's not just for one thing. But anything that any individual can do, it doesn't matter whether it's in sports, whether it's in your local faith group, whether it's in employment, anything that anybody can do. This is my kind of plea to anyone listening. Reach out to a young person and just lend a hand.
That's amazing, because you know what it is, everyone is so busy, life is so fast paced, right? Even as parents, sometimes even though we want to add good things to our children, people can get caught up in life. People can get caught up with the day-to-day hustle and bustle of life. And so I think this is really amazing what you're saying. It's really good what you're saying, because to say, let me stop and let me look to add some experience. Let me look to help, to lift a young person up. That's something that's missing especially in the Western community, right? Because you probably get a bit of that back home in Africa, where you have the elders who are looking out for the younger ones. But besides, like I grew up in South London, and especially in Peckham, you have gangs who are mentoring young people, right? However, we don't have people who are not in gangs or more mature people looking to mentor young people just on day-to-day life and with the things that they've learned. Aja?
Yeah, I'd say a lot of young people, maybe they just lack that, like they don't know where to start, if that makes sense. They don't know, okay, there's this person that I know that I can speak to that will kind of guide me. It's kind of a thing where like they're trying to find out about, I don't know, the whole like working world, maybe online, maybe they see posts about it, maybe on LinkedIn, but like actually having those skills to take with them, and someone who they can look up to and be like, this person is within my reach. I think it's lacking a lot.
Yeah. Here's an interesting thing, Julian, because we have listeners who obviously they want to create an enterprise, they want to build something, but there's always going to be some type of obstacles. What kind of obstacles did you face, right? Everyone's been blessed by ultra education now, but when things were beginning, when things were starting, what kind of challenges and obstacles did you face and have to overcome?
Yeah, I guess because I was doing something that I'd not done before. I mean, my background is in technology, it's in investment banking. I'm starting a youth social enterprise. I had no idea what I was doing, right? So a lot of the obstacles were really just my lack of knowledge around the space. I didn't even know I was creating social impact. A colleague had to tell me, do you realize you're creating all the social impact? I'm like, what is that? I had no idea. So I was just learning as I went along. And so a lot of the obstacles, if I'm honest, and this is probably the case for most people, we like to externalize obstacles, but I'll be honest, the biggest obstacle anyone is going to face when they're starting their own enterprises themselves. I know people don't want to hear it. We want to blame and point the finger at external factors, but actually the biggest obstacle that I faced was me. You know, I had to kind of, you know, when people say you've got to get out of your own way, right? And that takes work. You've got to think to yourself, okay, am I limiting myself by my thoughts, by my actions, by my habits, by my experiences? Because you look at other people who were really successful and then you rationalize it by saying, oh, they're lucky, they were born with a silver spoon, they have things that I don't have, right? But it's not often the case. Sometimes it is, but often it isn't. And so you've got to just kind of look at yourself and say, right, if I'm going into any sector, it doesn't matter whether it's impact, it's tech, it's property, it's finance, whatever it is, and you want to start an enterprise. There was someone who came to me. They were a pretty experienced business person, and you know, there was a project that they wanted to start, and they were telling me all the obstacles that they had in front of them. And I said, why don't you just do this one small thing? Just do a pilot. Just start it. Why don't you just start it next week? And they paused and they thought, well, there's no reason why I can't start it next week. And I said, the reason you're not going to start it next week is because you're afraid. And I get that. It takes courage to do these things, right? But that's why they say, feel the fear and do it anyway, right? So I think behavior change in anyone is one of the greatest obstacles that humans can face. And starting your own thing requires a lot of change in behavior. It means that you've got to reorganize your thinking, reorganize your life. You've got to sit down and speak to your friends and family and say, look, I'm about to do this thing. I need your support. I need some help. I might make some mistakes. That's going to be okay. You've got to be kind to yourself. You've got to take a deep breath. You've got to, you know, develop new habits that help you to move things forward. Because I tell you this, I've had lots of external obstacles that I could point to. I could say, oh, they didn't understand me. There was structural racism over here. There was bias. They didn't like me. They weren't really into young people. I could say all of that. And to a degree, all of that could still be true. But more than one thing can be true at the same time. I can't control external factors. I can't control external obstacles, but I can control my own obstacles, right? So if the bar rises, if there's an obstacle in front of me, I can't move that obstacle. But what I can do is I can move myself. I can move myself to jump over, under, or around that obstacle. And so that was always my focus. And that's my counsel to people who are starting something, to think, okay, yes, there are obstacles that are in front of you, but unless you are in control of those obstacles, you probably can't move them. But what you can do is you are in control of yourself. You've got to sit down and be honest with how you're feeling. It's not to box it away. If you don't have a certain set of skills, learn them, find them, borrow them, buy them. If you're afraid, that's okay, right? I mean, I'm afraid of stuff that I've got to do every day, right? Because I'm pushing myself, I'm trying to do better.
It's good to hear that.
Okay.
It makes us feel a lot better. The rest of us, yeah. Seriously, it's good. It's good to know.
It's okay to be afraid.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm nervous about stuff all the time. There is someone I know who's really big in the theatre world, really really successful actress. In fact, her name's Alexia. She plays the witch in Wicked.
Okay.
And I remember her saying once, I think someone had asked her, "Do you get butterflies before you go on?" She said, "Yeah." And she's been doing this for like decades.
Yeah.
And she's at the top of her game, but she still gets butterflies before she goes on stage. That made me feel better. You get butterflies, then that means it's okay. And actually, the butterflies and that nervousness, what that does is it triggers, your fight or flight mechanism. It kind of attunes you. It heightens your senses to the thing that you're supposed to do. If you're nonchalant about it, you don't care.
That's right.
That's probably not a good thing either, right? So I think it's more about running away from the fear. That fear, that energy is directing it towards the thing that you have to do, and just getting used to it, actually, because that really means, to be honest with you, that means you're alive. That means you care about the thing
you have a
you're
pulse.
about to do. If you didn't care about it, you wouldn't be afraid of it. And that's what you need to almost ensure that you do a good job. And for me, the job I've got to do is for the next generation. So I've got to make sure I'm on my P's and Q's.
Drop it like it's hot. And there's two things that you've made me realize in what you were saying. Firstly, is that when the person decides that, no, we're going to get this thing done, they always find a way. Right, they always find a way. When you were saying about the bar gets risen, and the battle's really inside of us. If a person's back's against the wall and they need to do something, they need to find that money to pay a bill, or they need to do something because they don't have no other option. Human beings will always find a way. Always that fight or flight, right?
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. I mean, they say, if you decide that you're right, you're right. If you decide you're wrong, you're right. Mm-hmm. It's just based on the decision that you make.
Drop it like it's
and
hot.
You're right. There's something which I call, the gun to the head method. Right? If someone put a gun to your head and say, you've got to start your business in 1 hour, trust me, you'll do it.
Yeah. Or if someone was going to kidnap your kid.
Method. Pretend as if you have a gun to your head. What would you do if you knew someone was going to, your life depended on it, essentially. If your life depended on you starting your business, if your life depended on you making that change, if your life depended on you becoming healthier, becoming happier, becoming better, trust me, you would do it.
There's no excuse nowadays. Hearing everything you're saying, there's no excuse, Joe? Because like nowadays, we have access to everything. The floodgates are open. We have access to resources, videos, education. Julian was saying, it's a case of what you don't know, right? But now we have access to literally everything. Joe? Yeah,
and even companies out there, they are like giving out free workshops, if that makes sense, of different like skills that people need within the workspace. So if you wanted to do digital marketing, there's courses out there that are for free, and to learn just like how to use them, or for example, project management tools, so Asana, those type of things, they're used widely within the workspace, but people don't know that there's actually courses out there that are free, that are online. You could even go on YouTube. I'm sure you'd be able to find many different like courses, companies that are giving out these tools because they know that there is a need. This
is a good time to be alive, Julian, eh? Because back in the day...
Wow. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you had to set up a t-shirt business or publish a book or market a service 10, 15 years ago, that would have been cost prohibitive. You would have had to have, go and bought 1,000 t-shirts, find somewhere to store them, print them one by one, and find somewhere to distribute them. You'd have to pay for expensive advertising. Now you don't have to do that. You've got print on demand. You can literally do it for free. Right? If you wanted to write a book, similarly, you had to go and get a publishing deal. And even if you wanted to self-publish, you would have to have spent, a lot of money on the actual books themselves. Now you've got, print on demand services. Again, you don't need to do that. If you wanted to I don't know, have a dog walking service. You need to find a way to go and get those customers. Now we've got Instagram. And so the mechanisms that you would have needed to create businesses have all fallen away.
Yeah.
And actually, there are new business models which have come up, right? And that is like attention. If you think about what influencers are doing, they are creating content that capture and hold your attention. The platforms are able to monetize that attention, and they share that monetization model with each other.
Wow.
And that's something that we've never had.
No.
It's completely new.
Wow. Guys, if you're listening to this right now, I'm telling you, must definitely have this desire, this motivation in you to do something. You know, Julian just touched on print on demand t-shirts, right? People have these lovely ideas for brands to make t-shirts. It won't cost you anything, right? To make a book, to write a book. How many stories are inside of the head of a person? How many things that could be taught? We spoke about mentoring earlier. That is in the person's head. They're walking around with it and they're waiting, you know, but this is the best time to be alive, to get things done.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go for a very short timeout. All right. We're going to let Julian just take a breath. All right. And get some water. All right. He's been dropping some bars this morning. It's been great having you here with us, Julian. And when we come back, obviously, the jewel of our eye today is Ultra Education. And we're going to be hearing what it was like putting that together. All right. To start it up, because we all see things when they're doing well. We see when things are already grown, when they've already developed, but what we'll hear is how Julian got the idea, how it went through, and hopefully maybe depending on what you're doing, what you're working, what you're developing in your life, you know, you can get some really good golden nuggets to apply and put into practice. It's great. This is Pursue of Success Tuesday here on your breakfast show. I'm really excited. Actually, I want to show a video, guys. I want to show a video. Kat, can you play that video, the one about children? The one about children teaching, the one with the little boy teaching his little brother how to get, that's it, that one there at the bottom. No, that's it, that one there. Yeah, so basically, as we're going to go more into Ultra Education just after the timeout, but I want everyone to watch this video because children are brilliant, right? Children, they can learn like 4 times faster than adults, right, Julian? That's what I heard. Right?
Absolutely.
So they're very good fertile ground, and I want you to have a look at this video where you see actually a young person mentoring his younger brother. Check this out, guys.
Dad, can I have some ice cream?
No, buddy, it's almost time for bed.
Don't let this happen to you. I'm gonna teach you how to get what you want from your parents. Let's do that again. Dad, I really missed you today. Can we share a bowl of ice cream and talk about our day?
Sure, buddy.
Yes! You gotta figure out what's important to your parents. For Dad, it's quality time. And for Mom, it's something else. Mom, can I play my video game?
Honey, you already played your video game today.
Let's do that again. Mama, can I do that for you so you can take a nap? That is so sweet of you. Yes, thank you, honey. Thank you, I love you. And when I'm done, I'll quietly play my video game. Just because it works for me doesn't mean it's gonna work for you. You gotta figure it out yourself. Got it? Got it. Go get it. Hey, Dad, wanna play with fire?
What?
Beginners.
Kids are amazing. What do you think of that, Julian?
Love it. Smart young man.
Smart young man. He was already taking on the role of mentor, and he's dropping some bars, dealing with objections, right? Absolutely amazing. I really hope you enjoyed this episode of the program. We have a lot more episodes covering a lot more themes on The Breakfast Show. And guess what? Your experience can be even deeper and more interactive because we are live weekdays from Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on libertyradio.co.uk. On that Liberty Radio platform, we have a whole host of other inspirational material. As well as that, we have our breakfast show in the mornings. Check it out. There's a live chat, there's a video feed, and you can get up to date on all the breakfast show antics and fun, vim, excitement, and all that kind of crazy stuff that we love to enjoy. This is Robbie here, Robust Presenter, and I hope to see you live and enjoy the next one.